In 2008, the American Supply Association's Industrial Piping Division's Executive Council established an Award of Excellence, honoring a member of the division for achievement specifically related to the PVF segment of our industry. This award is not an annual award, as it is given at the discretion of the IPD Executive Council. The recipient is someone who has record of significant accomplishment in the PVF industry, including overall influence on the current status of the channel. This person will have a history of dedicated service to IPD and be an active participant in the division's activities. The honoree also projects a positive industry image and has positively affected the industry in general. To date, there have been 4 recipients: Tim Ehrenberg of Columbia Pipe and Supply, Gary Cartwright, formerly of Piping and Equipment, Dr. Donald R. McNeely of Chicago Tube and Iron, and Morris R. Beschloss. This year, we are pleased to honor another most deserving member of our industry with this award. It is a great privilege for the Industrial Piping Division and me personally to present the IPD Award of Excellence to an incredibly respected and beloved member of the PVF industry, Mr. John Martin. Please have a seat. John is known coast to coast, from small towns to big cities, as the guy. There are few others in our industry whose name has become as synonymous with the letters PVF, or for whom the mere mention of brings an immediate smile. His integrity, passion, devotion, and charm set him apart from everyone else. When John's name was put up for a vote at the IPD Executive Council meeting in May, it was not surprising that the outcome was a unanimous, resounding yes. John has been a volunteer fixture in the larger ASA organization for more years than many of us would like to admit we've been around to remember. His many roles include serving on the Vendor Member Division Executive Council, where he faithfully represented the interest of manufacturers and vendors operating in the PVF segment of the industry, being an original member of the Campaign Advisory Board, which created the Carl E. Newport Endowment Fund for the ASA Education Foundation. He devoted a vast amount of time traveling the country to raise a significant portion of that $10 million endowment. His passion for developing an educated industry led him to be named the first ever vendor member to serve as president of the ASA Education Foundation, providing a strong voice to champion and ensure the development of training programs that specifically address the unique needs of the PVF industry. Once he finished his time with education, he didn't take a well-deserved rest. Instead, he came forward to serve again, this time in the capacity of growing membership in ASA with a strong emphasis on the IPD. Several years ago, John was instrumental in bringing the national wholesalers to the table, resulting in them rejoining ASA and the IPD. His direct involvement in recruiting new members has been a key factor in relaying the important roles that ASA and IPD serve in our industry. Take, for instance, the long-held misconception that ASA and the buying groups were in competition with each other. By being aligned with organizations throughout the industry, John knew that instead of the groups being competitors, they actually complemented each other, with distributors having much to gain with participation in both groups. Not only did he spread this message among distributors, he brought the leaders of ASA and the national buying groups together, and today, ASA enjoys productive relationships and works to develop shared strategies with most of the national groups. Ever the ambassador, at every buying group meeting that both he and ASA are a part of, John is still generating interest and enthusiasm that helps reel in new members for both the association and IPD. John has devoted his entire working career to the PVF industry. In 1968, when he was a young Army private, he started working for a company called Grinnell. Today, that company is known as Anvil International and has gone through more than a few changes over the years. Yet, there has always been one constant: John Martin, out in the market, elevating Anvil's status by working with distributors and contractors every day, and the associations that serve them. The PVF industry has benefited from John's work to improve the circumstances of all partners in our channel of distribution. In addition to his day job and all he does for ASA and IPD, John's one of the most dedicated volunteers of the Mechanical Contractors Association of America, the association representing the customers of many of us in this room. Bob Armistead, president of Armistead Mechanical, shared with us this about John. I know that I speak for the entire MCAA when I say that John has been a special friend and tremendous supporter of the MCAA throughout his career. As long as we've known John, he's always been out in front to serve our industry in any way that he could, making it that much better for us all. His personal commitment and dedication to all that he's involved with is second to none. We'll always be grateful for his contributions and service to our mechanical construction industry. Judging from that assessment, it seems that John puts 150% of himself into all the groups he's involved. Wally Gome, the longtime president of the Embassy Group, put it well when he told us, "What can I say that hasn't been said already about John? He's an industry icon. I don't think there's a more recognized person who has contributed as much to the industry than John. His involvement and passion for this industry reaches levels that cannot be put into words." Personally, and on behalf of all Tex Pipe and Supply, I can say that John embodies the characteristics that we all aspire to have: a burning passion for what he does, and the ability to have a positive impact on the lives of others while he does it. He's a true friend and mentor, and one of the few men in this industry who can get away with calling me Hun, a valued vendor partner, a devoted husband to Kathy, and a loving father to Caleb. And, as if that wasn't enough, a pretty darn good singer. In 2004, my own buying group, Affiliated Distributors, bestowed upon him our first ever Supplier of the Year award for leadership, honoring the focus and guidance he personally has provided to our organization and members throughout the years. John, our industry is where it is today, due in great part to your influence. Your insight and guidance have brought together the distributor and vendor communities on many issues over the years. You've taught us that strong partnerships make the industry stronger for everyone involved, and your actions led the way for other vendors, many who follow your steps. The opportunity to honor you today has an even more special meaning after the tragic event of April 6th of this year. As most of you know, John was in a terrible car accident. He stated in his email to me, and I quote, "All it cost me was a brain concussion, an internal brain bleed, 6 broken ribs on the left side and back, 2 broken vertebrae, C6 and C7 in my neck, and an untold number of glass and metal cuts and bruises all over my body. I truly should be dead, yet the good Lord has kept me around for yet another shot at whatever He wants me to do." Well, today, John, He wants you to accept this well-deserved honor. So on behalf of the American Supply Association's Industrial Piping Division, we're proud to recognize your accomplishments in the PVF industry, your history of involvement in IPD, and the positive industry image you've projected these many years. It is my distinct pleasure to present this IPD Award of Excellence to you, Mr. John E. Martin.